Well, if it isn't my third period, you're in for a treat today. We're gonna try something new. It's gonna go crazy in your brain a little bit, okay? It's gonna be pretty challenging, but it uses all the shapes we've already been working with and it mushes them together, okay? So be careful, don't hurt yourselves today. Let's get going on some of these. These are called compound figures. So it's just a mashup of different shapes. So look at number 4. The manager of an apartment complex will install new carpeting in a studio apartment. The floor plan is shown at the right. What is the total area that needs to be carpeted? So look at the shapes that make up the shape of this apartment. If you look, right there, we've got a rectangle. So the area of that rectangle, area of a rectangle is length times width or base times height, whatever you want to call it, which it says it is 25 feet across and 10 feet tall. So 25 times 10, which is 250. And the units on that are feet. So feet times feet are square feet, or feet squared. Now that would be the rectangular part, but there's more here. We've got this top shape as well. And that's one of those crazy shapes. That's the old trapezoid. So here's our trapezoid stuff. If you look at how it's labeled, there's no label right here, but this is a rectangle. So if this part is 25, that means this part is 25. The top, it says, is 12. And then we also need the height, which it tells us is 5. They're so good to us. So the area formula for a trapezoid is a little trickier. It is 1/2 the height, which our height, here I'll write the formula first. Then we got the base 1 plus base 2. So the height on this one is 5. And then the bases, we've got 12 and we've got 25. So 12 plus 25. All right. So if we simplify in our parentheses first, 12 plus 25. What? Yeah, 37. Okay. I thought you said something different there for a second. Now remember, when we're doing this, we only need to take half of one of those numbers. It doesn't matter which one you can do, which one you want to do. You can do half of 5 and then multiply that by 37. You can take half of 37 and then multiply that by 5. Or you can do 5 times 37 and then take half of that. If you want, turn 1/2 into the decimal 0.5 and put it into your calculator all at once. Let me grab a calc. Let's see. I know half of 5 is 2.5. 2.5 times 37, 92.5. And that was also square feet. Now, we need to know how much carpet is going to be in the whole thing. Here's the rectangle. Here's the trapezoid part. If you want to know all together how much it would be, what are you going to do with those two numbers? Yeah, you got it. Oh my gosh, the whole class just screamed out, add it. That's great. So we're going to add those together. 250 plus 92.5. Let's see, we got the 0.5. 0 plus 2 is 2. 5 plus 9 is 14. Carry the 1. 342.5. And don't forget your units. Feet squared. Cool? All right, we're going to try another one. Flip over to, oh, yeah. What'd you say? What number? Okay, we'll do that one next. They said number 7 if you couldn't hear. There's no one in the room right now. Number 7. We got another one of these compound shapes. Look at the shapes that make this up. We've got a rectangle down here and a trapezoid up here. Or if you want, you can turn it into another rectangle and a triangle. That's more work than we need to do. So let's just calculate this part. The bottom rectangle is 4 inches by 8 inches. So rectangle's nice and easy. You just do length times width. 4 times 8, 32. Inches times inches, inches squared. So that's the rectangle. And then we've got another trapezoid. Or I think our man Raj calls them trapeziums or something like that. But the trapezoid is the 1/2 height. And then we add the bases together. Remember, the bases are the two sides that are parallel to each other. And I think I gotta sneeze. Okay, so our basis, I see it says 5.3. This side is not labeled, but again, it's a rectangle down here, so if this side is 8, that means the opposite side would be 8 as well. Now the height, ooh, a little bit trickery here. Okay, the whole thing is 8, but we can't use 8 because that's the whole thing. We only need this top part of it. So we gotta look for some other context clues. Oh, I know this part is 4, right? Because that's 4, this is 4. So what's that leave for this top chunk? Yeah, another 4. So the height of the trapezoid is also 4. Remember, we could just take half of one of them. I know what half of 4 is. Not to brag, it's 2. 5 plus 8 is 13, so 5.3 plus 8 would be 13.3. 2 times 13.3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. So the trapezoid on top would be 26.6 inches squared. And remember, we've got to take these two and add them together for the total amount. So 32, 26.6, got the 0.6, 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 2 is 5, so 58.6 inches squared, squared inches. That would be our final answer. Okay, now, as far as I remember, I'm gonna do 2 more with you. Next one, right next door, number 8. What shapes we got here? We got a rectangle and we got a half of a circle, a semicircle. So the rectangle, oh my goodness, how many rectangles are we gonna do here? It's so easy, length times width, 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. That's the rectangle. We will come back to it. Now the circle formula, the area of a full circle is pi times the radius squared. This is a half of a circle, so we're going to make it 1/2 pi r squared. Now we don't know the radius, or do we? The diameter all the way across is 7. It's going to be the same as this, so we just take half of it. Radius is going to be 3.5 yards, okay? So, call me a rebel. I'm going to make 1/2 0.5. What do we use every time for pi? Not apples. 3.14, that's right. I don't know how I do it, guys. And then the radius, remember, is 3.5, so we got 3.5 squared. Now remember your order of operations, you do your exponents first. So 3.5 times 3.5, or 3.5 squared, is 12.25. Aren't you guys glad you brought your calculators today? Except for you back there, I know you didn't bring one. Yeah. Then we could just multiply this all at the same time. 0.5 times 3.14 times 12.25. And we got a long decimal. 19.2325. Let's call it 19.23. 19.23. 0.23 yards squared. But again, we want the whole thing, so we gotta add them together. Plus 35. We got the 0.23. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1, 2 plus 3 is 5. So we got 54.23 square yards. Make sure you circle your answers. It's easier for me to find them that way. Okay. So we got one more. I think it's the last problem on your paper. This is it. It's almost summertime. Time to get ready for the pool. The diagram at the right gives the dimensions of a swimming pool. If a cover is needed for the pool, what will be the approximate area of the cover? Look at this. You got fresh water, but then we got this little half circle here. Do we need a pool cover on that half circle? No. I mean, realistically, it'd probably be easiest just to get a rectangular cover and put it over the whole thing, but they don't want it covering that sidewalk. I don't know why. So, in this case, if we found the rectangle, it's 20 by 36. So if you multiply 20 times 36, 2 times 36 is 72, right? So it'd be 720 square feet. That would be if you covered everything. But we're not covering that half circle. So again, circle formula is pi r squared. We only want half of that considered. So we're going to use 0.5. We're going to use 3.14. And then the radius squared. Now it tells us 18, but that's across the whole thing. That's the diameter, playa. So what are we going to use for the radius? 9. That's right. We gotta do 9 squared first. What's 9 times 9? You. No. Next to you. You. 81, that's right. .5 times 3.14 times 81, 127.17. That's my third favorite number. 127 and 1700ths feet squared. Now, that is area that does not need to be covered. So, here would be if everything was covered, but we don't want this 127.17 square feet covered. So what do you think we would do with them on this one? That's right, kid, you subtract them. So we've got 720 minus 127.17. My planning period's almost over, so I'm just going to put this in the calc. 592.83 square feet. Let's be even crazier and just round this to the nearest whole number. Let's call it 593 square feet. 593 square feet. The cousin of SpongeBob SquarePants. Make sure you clean up, toss it in the bin when you finish. You can work together, but actually make sure you're working, okay? Be good. I'll see you on Monday.